welcome to On Call After Hours, where we answer some of the questions we weren't able to get to during the broadcast portion of our show. All of your questions are important to us, and we want to answer as many as we can for you. So there was the question about obesity epidemic, diabetes problems that we're having in the U.S., and addressing the question about labor-saving devices. Do you think that's the reason? What is the reason for obesity in the U.S. and South Dakota in particular?
Well, I think we get busy with our jobs, and it's, our jobs are tiring even though they're sedentary, and so people come home at night and then they tend to be sedentary even more. I think television is one of the worst things that has changed imagination in children, obesity in adults, and just, you're right, being active, growing our own food, not just in a rural area, but so have an herb garden outside or do something else that you can do that's productive.
And sometimes people are so protective of children that they don't let them be children. Run around and play tag and jump on a trampoline, for example. I mean, do something.
Devices.
Yes, there's too many electronic devices. I think processed food has a huge impact too. Macaroni and cheese is not a staple for your children.
Okay.
You know? Especially when you heat it up in the microwave.
So, my sense is that the earlier we get our kids active, the better it will last for their whole lifetime.
They learn it.
They learn it. And you said a lot of the ranchers are skinnier guys, and farmers are getting heavier because they have so
I didn't
much.
say that.
Oh,
Just kidding.
you had said that. You said that. I'm sorry.
They're all slim and beautiful.
They are. Those ranchers are, and the farmers. Some of them are real slim and
They have to
beautiful
sit in a
too.
tractor all
They're in
day.
their tractors.
Yes.
But that's it. I think we need to try to, whoever it might be, whatever job it is, you need to be physically going hard 30 minutes a day.
Well, and if you have a sedentary job, so be it. The majority of Americans do. But then you need to dedicate at least 3 to 4 days out of the week. And I have so many people come in who are frustrated about their inability to lose weight. And so I ask them, what their exercise regimen is. Oh, I walk. I'm like, no, you need to reach a target heart rate. You need to do that for an extended period of time, for 30 minutes at a time. You need to actually sweat. You should require a shower after exercise.
When we think about just movement, how many people do you have that come in and request a handicap parking sticker who really, you want them to walk more, not less?
Yeah. We have a caller from who had a email, actually. What are the newest ways to treat osteoporosis as we age? What is your opinion of the injections used for treatment, and what are the side effects? So the treatment for osteoporosis, I'm going to start. Walking, exercise, that's way better than any of the pills. We have been emphasizing medicinal therapy. I don't prescribe it personally.
We prescribe it some, but I would like to see that we are actually working on that bone health from square one. We reach our maximum by that time we're 35, 40. Well, what are you doing to build your bones to age 35 and 40 so when you go through menopause, you don't get osteoporotic? And I'm kind of with you. I think that that's going to be that area where...
We don't know what we're doing with the first groups at 5 years, and it worries me that there's an injection now. What do you think of that?
We're giving Prolia. Yeah, we like it. I like it better than the bisphosphonates in general.
I think in general the mechanism of action and the studies probably show maybe a little bit more benefit, but I agree with you. I don't think we have enough long-term studies to prove certain qualities of the drug and how long, how long do we use it for? Do we give a drug holiday?
I have to say too that I think the information on hormones, I think that those studies were a little bit flawed. I think people got very spooked about estrogen, and I'm not sure that I don't reach for some estrogen replacement therapy before I actually look for an osteoporotic medicine. If hypogonadism is the problem, I kind of look towards that first, actually.
Well, and I'll say it one more time before we move on, and that is that bones are made strong by the walking and the weight that we do, and they get weak if you go into space or if you sit on a couch. One or the other. You know what I mean? What are the newest? Okay. Can you discuss hyperparathyroidism and what calcium supplements help or hinder?
Hyperparathyroidism usually is detected by high calcium levels, and so you wouldn't want to take calcium levels for hyperparathyroidism. It's opposite direction. So the times when I see hyperparathyroidism, typically probably same with you, is kidney stones. We always look, when you have multiple kidney stones, we look for I do have 2 cases of hyperparathyroidism. We have a parathyroid in the mediastinum, and we'd have to go in through a mediastinoscopy and open this area up and pull it out. And so we actually just deal with the high calcium levels, and we're not going after that because the person's elderly.
Yeah.
So
And
lots of
renal
different
complications
things.
too.
Right.
Renal or kidney complications will lead to a change in the parathyroid
Right.
function as well.
It's the weirdest deal. They pull the thyroid back. There's these 4 little buttons. They take the right number, and because sometimes it's all 4 of them,
Yeah.
or sometimes it's 1.
Yeah.
And then to make sure that they haven't destroyed them, they'll take a little bit of parathyroid gland and implant
Put
it
in
in their
your arm.
forearm. And it's evolving. This whole thing. We sit on people with hyperparathyroid a lot and don't do anything because sometimes it's just a little bit of it.
That's why we need people like Dr. Palmer and Dr. Repus.
Endocrinology.
That's when I send in for the endocrinologist. How can chronic back pain be treated? Is there such a thing as killing the nerve to decrease the pain?
You hit the nail on the head when you say walk, 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 lose weight. First of all, prevent back pain by being physically fit, having a strong core, and not just waiting for the back pain to occur.
Well, the core is that whole trunk. It's the back muscles, the side muscles, the belly muscles. That's the core.
Yep, and it's one of the number 1 money spenders for healthcare costs is back pain, and it's partly because we're out of shape, we're not physically fit, and we get overweight. Now, other people, once you have back pain, then physical therapy is a mainstay of treatment, massage is a mainstay of treatment, treating the musculoskeletal system. Then there are some pharmaceutical medicines that can help for it. Back surgeries can help with it.
Injections.
Injections, and finally a rhizotomy in some cases. But I'll tell you, when you start getting more and more surgeries and rhizotomies, how many times do you see it work real well?
I actually have never seen a rhizotomy work, and it's cutting that nerve to kill the nerve pain, and the pain continues. Pain is a more complex thing than we think we know.
And I think that's the hardest thing, which is an important topic we probably talk about, is narcotic utilization, whether it be for back pain or other problems.
We're going to do a whole show on the narcotics.
Yeah.
Thing. And actually, back surgery is not almost always not indicated by pain.
Right.
It's indicated by
Weakness.
loss of
Yes.
motor function.
And we try to educate people about that when they leave the clinic, is to say, I know that what caused you to come in today is really your pain, and we'll try to manage that as best we can, but it's very important that if you have a foot drop next week, you come in to
come
see
in
us.
right away.
Yes.
The narcotics, now they think they upregulate the pain receptors, so you can actually deal with less pain the more narcotics you're on. That might be shooting yourself in the foot being on narcotics.
Right. There is a lot to be said on these topics, and we can go on, and we're going to have a show on back pain. We're going to have a show on narcotics, and so we're looking forward to that. Well, we thank you both for joining us on After Hours Conversation and on call with the Prairie Doc this evening, and what a joy and a Jolene it's been.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for joining us on call and being our audience. We appreciate all your questions and the opportunity to answer them. Be sure to join us next week on South Dakota Public Broadcasting at our regular time, and call in your email questions and watch for our columns on your local newspaper. Listen to our On-Call Conversations radio show on the station near you. And until next time, stay healthy out there, people.